On this episode of This is the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada.
It's golf, so you never know what's going to happen.
It's time for the season-ending showdown at the Canada Life Championship. And the coveted #1 spot on the Order of Merit is still up for grabs. And then...
Driver. Always been a strength for me, and this year it's been really good.
We hear from two-time champ and Canadian Player of the Year, Taylor Pendrith. And later...
It's nice to finish off strong.
We're teeing up the action in London, where a no-cut week gives players one last chance to clinch a title. Who will take home the hardware? Find out next. This is the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada. Highland Country Club welcomed the top 55 players from the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada for the final 72 holes of the 2019 season. By making it to the Canada Life Championship, players secured their status for the 2020 season on the Mackenzie Tour. So there was a lot to celebrate.
We're thrilled about this event. The caliber of the golfers here, it's outstanding. All of these young fellows are just starting out in their career, but many of these will go on to greatness and beyond the big tour. So us catching them when they're just taking off and just reaching the pinnacle of what they can do, how fulfilling is that? Canada Life being part of their development, it's really important.
In addition to nurturing Canadian golf through their support of the Canada Life Canadian Player of the Week and Canadian Player of the Year awards, Canada Life also uses the game to give back to communities across the country through its sponsorship of 2 Mackenzie Tour events, along with many other charitable initiatives.
We have a big presence here in London with over 3,100 employees, and we've had lots of success in different organizations and hosting great events. It's our job to be part of this community. We give back close to $14 million a year back to the communities. It's part of who we are, it's part of what we do, and it's about helping Canadians meet their dreams.
The Canada Life Championship is doing good work in London through its support of ChildCan, an organization that's been helping families living with childhood cancer for the past 45 years.
This is actually our 5th year at Highland and 7th consecutive year here in London. And the last 2 years, we've been working with ChildCan. ChildCan is an incredible organization to see the work that they do, and so we are just honored to work with them, raise as much money as we can, and looking forward to an opportunity next year to continue the relationship.
We're wholly funded by events such as this, and getting this awareness out in the community and getting the funding from this event goes such a long way for our families and the programs that we provide them. Canada Life is a wonderful partner to us.
ChildCan has been a huge support for the last 5.5 years of our cancer journey that we've had going on. They've been there every step of the way, even when we're at home, when we're out of country having procedures for Hayden. They're just there checking in all the time to make sure that we're supported and we have everything we need to continue on. They're just there when we need them. It means a lot to us.
After Hayden Foulon's ceremonial tee shot, the first round of the Canada Life Championship was officially underway. And despite rainy, cold conditions, intriguing storylines began to develop. Having already locked up the Dan Halderson Trophy and Canadian Player of the Year honors early, Taylor Pendrith set his sights on the #1 spot on the Order of Merit and fully exempt status on the Corn Ferry Tour that goes along with it. Battling nagging shoulder pain throughout the round, the 28-year-old fired a 4-under 66 and climbed into a tie for 4th, just one off the lead group.
This morning I went and got shot up, and it was good for a little bit, and then it kind of felt like it was wearing off, and I was just trying to survive out there, but to shoot 4-under is way better than expected. Had to change up my game plan a little bit, but I made a lot of putts, so it kind of saved me.
Germany's Yannick Paul made 10 of 11 cuts coming into London, but hadn't broken through the top 10 all season. He shot an opening 65 for a share of the lead.
I like to grind, so I got off to a good start, really the first 2 holes, and kept the momentum going, and happy with my 65.
Number 15 on the Order of Merit, Travis Trace also made some noise on day 1. Despite a double bogey on the front 9, he managed a 5-under 65 of his own and joined Paul at the top of the leaderboard. Rounding out the lead pack, Eric McCardle also posted an opening 65. The Saget Valley College grad was the last man in the field, coming in 60th on the Order of Merit. But he started strong with birdies on 2 of his first 3 holes to take a share of the lead alongside Trace and Paul. Coming up after the break.
It's intense. It's pretty cool seeing that me, Paul, Jake, and Taylor have all kind of separated a little bit from the rest of the field.
The race for Player of the Year intensifies as the second round of the Canada Life Championship tees off. When this is the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada returns. This is the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada. At the season-ending Canada Life Championship, there is no weekend cut, so it should be a stress-free 4 rounds for the field of 55, right? Well, not exactly. For top-ranked players Lorens Chan, Jake Knapp, Taylor Pendrith, and Paul Barjon, the goal is simple. Make that final push for the #1 spot on the order of merit. But the execution may not be that easy.
It's intense. If you're not shooting 4 or 5 under, you're going to move down the leaderboard. It's a good thing and a bad thing, kind of knowing what you need to do. It's pretty cool seeing that me, Paul, Jake, and Taylor have all kind of separated a little bit from the rest of the field.
In addition to earning Player of the Year honors, the player who lands the #1 spot will receive full exemption for the 2020 season on the Corn Ferry Tour. So let's take a closer look at who's in the running. At number 4, there's Lorens Chan, with just over a $13,000 difference separating him from the leader, Barjon. His 8 top 10 finishes and title at the HFX Pro-Am presented by Steel Jaguar has him within striking distance. And with a solo third or better in London, he could potentially bump Barjon out of the driver's seat.
I worked hard the last few years, and I've been close. I've always believed that, and it's really nice to kind of have everything clicked, and not only click for 1 week with a win, but kind of just overall the entire summer. We got 1 more week. I still got a chance at #1, so we'll see how it goes.
Then there's Jake Knapp. He earned 2 titles this season at the Canada Life Open and the Golf BC Championship, and added 5 top 10 finishes to the mix, pushing the Californian into the #1 position for 6 weeks this year. If he can add another top 10 to his record, he may be able to see the top spot again.
Playing up here for a few years, I feel like I knew exactly what I needed to work on in order to play well up here. And being able to win that first week, just gives you a lot of confidence, because obviously what you've been working on is working. And so being in this position, having a chance, not only guaranteeing that I'm going to be in the top 5, but then also having a chance to win that #1 spot feels really good.
After his most recent win at the Mackenzie Investments Open in Montreal, his second of the year, Canada's own Taylor Pendrith jumped into #2 in the order of merit. He's built a solid season around those 2 victories, and he's 1 good week away from clinching a Corn Ferry Tour card.
I've been playing some really good golf basically the last 3 months, and it's just so deep. There's so many guys out here who can win, and it's only going to get better. So it's been a good year, but challenging year, and there's tons of good players who put pressure on you.
That leaves the leader, Paul Barjon, who has 2 wins of his own. He hasn't missed a cut all year, and the Frenchman certainly has earned his spot at the top.
Everybody wants to be first because we're all competitors, but top 5 is huge. So that was the main goal at the beginning of the year. My game has been very consistent. I'm looking forward to this week where I won in 2016, but it's golf, so you never know what's going to happen. Everybody starts at 0, which is the fun part about golf. All 55 players this week can win, so it'll be interesting.
Golf is an endurance sport, and while round 1 leaders Eric McArdle, Yannick Paul, and Travis Trace all played well enough to remain inside the top 10, they were surpassed by a new face who rocketed to the top of the leaderboard during the second round of the Canada Life Championship. Brian Carlson earned his place at #1 after shooting a bogey-free 10 under par 60, matching the course record and his lowest career round.
As a pro golfer, you always want to have that 1 extra stroke in the round. So, it just feels good to finish off with a birdie today and have a 60. Missed a putt on 17. I was kind of thinking about 59. But missed that, and happy to get a birdie on 18.
In this, his rookie season on the Mackenzie Tour, it was just the second time the 23-year-old moved on to the weekend in contention.
First year, it's a learning process. Been a lot of ups and downs for me. A lot of bad weeks, some good weeks, but it's nice to finish off strong.
Sitting 21st on the order of merit before the start of competition, a win to cap off the season would mean everything. If Carlson could keep the momentum going through the weekend and finish on top, he would earn a trip to the final stage of Q School and possibly a spot on the Corn Ferry Tour.
Keep doing what I'm doing, keep hitting it in play. Conservative off the tee from me, generally speaking, and then attack the pins. So the rough is kind of hairy around the green, so it's pretty important to stay on the right side of the hole.
In a race of his own, Taylor Pendrith was in hot pursuit to pass Paul Barjon on the order of merit. He bested his round 1 66 by 3 strokes, firing a 63 to close out his second round at 11 under, just 1 behind Carlson.
The scoreable holes I felt were downwind, so it was definitely an advantage, especially the par 5s. If you got a good drive and play, it was pretty easy to set yourself up for birdie.
When this is the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada returns.
I think my first opinion of Taylor was I need to go to the gym a little bit and gain a few yards.
We get a closer look at the Canada Life Player of the Year through the eyes of his peers. And then it's moving day at the Canada Life Championship. All that and more next. This is the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada.
People who are turning left at a light and the light's green and they don't pull out into the middle of the intersection. That's a pet peeve, that's about it.
That's pretty standard. That's a very Canadian answer, too.
Yeah, I know, right?
Taylor Pendrith is closing out a stellar season. But before he says goodbye to 2019, we got to know him a little better in this week's On the Bag.
Mike Weir, when he won the Masters, I was just starting golf and turned on the Masters and he won, and I didn't really know basically anything about golf or who Mike Weir was, but knew he was Canadian and then kind of followed his career, and which was, I mean, an awesome time for everybody in Canada and the golf world. I have never played Augusta. That would probably be number 1. Driver. Always been a strength for me, and this year it's been really good. My mom's homemade meatloaf would be one of them. She makes some really nice homemade mac and cheese as well, so a combination of both of those. Sidney Crosby, when he first came to the league, he was so dominant, and been a huge hockey fan my whole life, and to see the career that he's had is unbelievable, and still now he's been in the league for 10 years probably, and he's still a superstar.
Before teeing it up in London, Taylor Pendrith locked up the Canada Life Canadian Player of the Year award, which was no surprise to his friends on tour.
That's awesome. I've had a pretty good year, I'd say. It's been a battle, honestly, the last 2 years. 2015 out here, finished 3rd, and kind of thought maybe I'll never be back on this tour, but embraced it, and this year I've had some really good finishes.
When he's driving it well and putting it well, you know, he's a tough guy to beat. I think my first opinion of Taylor was I need to go to the gym a little bit and gain a few yards.
He's a great player, hits it very long, and his touch around the green is pretty unbelievable. Impressive player for sure.
I think the control he has with his irons, his wedges, his putting, his short game, it's pretty remarkable for a guy that hits it so far. It's kind of scary when it's on.
Really long and playing really well right now. When you shoot course records back-to-back, that's pretty impressive. I mean, he's killing it this year.
Canada Life does an awesome job with, you know, supporting the Canadians on tour. Can't thank them enough for what they've done for the Mackenzie Tour and everything they do for golf. Kind of a breakthrough year. Been a long time coming, but it feels really, really good to get the job done.
Moving day at the Canada Life Championship brought plenty of sunshine and plenty of change atop the leaderboard. Taylor Pendrith was headed in the wrong direction. He struggled Saturday following his second round 63 with a third round 72, going from only 1 shot back to a tie for 8th, 6 shots off the lead. With a 2 over 72, second round leader Brian Carlson fell back into a tie for 6th, opening the door for a new name to emerge. An eagle on the first ended up being a sign of things to come for Patrick Fishburn. He would go on to card 5 birdies before the day was over to shoot a moving day 64. It was obvious from the start that Fishburn felt comfortable around Highland Country Club.
I love it here a lot. It's almost identical to the course I play back home. It's just a great event and great environment here, and I played good here last year, and so I kind of continued this year, so it's good.
And he knew there was a lot more at stake than just a trophy.
It's definitely in my head. It's going to be there. I know I'm like $300 shy of the 10th spot, which is pretty important, but there's not much you can do other than control each shot one at a time.
The 27-year-old's confidence was steady and growing heading into Sunday.
I'll just kind of keep sticking with what I've been doing. I've been hitting it really consistent tee to green. I've been giving myself lots of chances from, 8 to 12 feet. If I keep doing that, make a few, then hopefully have a good shot tomorrow.
Meanwhile, Jeremy Paul stayed steady after Friday's 61, shooting a 66 and climbing one spot on the leaderboard to sit alone at second. Fishburn and Paul, who played a practice round together earlier this week, headed into Sunday's final round as the headline pairing, with Fishburn in the driver's seat carrying a 2-stroke lead into the Mackenzie Tour's last round of the season. After the break, on This is the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada. The stakes are higher than ever as we enter the final round at the Canada Life Championship, with players vying for the top spot on the leaderboard and a chance to climb the ranks in the order of merit to secure their status for next year. Find out who rises above the rest as we crown our winner at the final tournament of the season. This is the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada. Patrick Fishburn had made 17 consecutive cuts on the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada before missing the weekend at the Mackenzie Investments Open the week before the season finale.
The putter has been hot some weeks and cold some weeks, but overall I played really well. Missing that cut last week might have been a good thing to kind of refresh and regroup for here in London.
But he came to the Canada Life Championship ready to work. He fired rounds of 66, 65, and 64, building a 2-shot advantage over his good friend Jeremy Paul. Paul never really put any pressure on the BYU grad. He posted a 1/71 to finish in a tie for 6th and 22nd on the order of merit. So it was Patrick Fishburn's tournament to lose, and he calmly went out and posted a bogey-free 6-under par 64 for his first professional title.
One of my big goals was to win out here this year, and I waited to the last one, but I was able to pull it off, and then obviously try to jump in the top 5 was one of my goals. And so yeah, I'm just thrilled that I accomplished all my goals.
It was a tight race to the very last putt, but in the end, Paul Barjon held off a hard-charging Taylor Pendrith to take home the #1 title and full status on the Corn Ferry Tour. Former UCLA teammates Jake Knapp and Lorens Chan maintained their positions at 3 and 4. And with the win, Patrick Fishburn vaulted up 6 spots into the top 5, overtaking Hayden Buckley by a mere $506 and earning a coveted pass into the final stage of Q School. With the 2019 season in the books, a celebration was in order.
Very proud to present the Dan Halderson Award. Great year this year, Taylor. Congratulations.
Taylor Pendrith finished his campaign with a little something extra, the Dan Halderson Trophy and Canada Life Canadian Player of the Year honors. And then he, alongside 9 other graduates, were given some new threads before moving on to the Corn Ferry Tour.
This is a journey for our members. It starts with 6 Q schools, and then we have 12 events over 17 weeks. And we've seen some incredible golf, but this would not be possible without Mackenzie Investments. They've been an incredible umbrella sponsor and partner. And to our players, what an incredible, incredible season it's been. I've been fortunate to be with the PGA Tour for over 19 years, running some of our biggest events. And I can tell you, the play and competition you see this week and throughout the season is just as good as any other players and tournaments on the PGA Tour. So to all our guys, congratulations on a great season. We look forward to handing out some hardware here later on. Thank you.
With 2 victories and 8 top 10s, plus a top 30 at the Canada Life Championship, Paul Barjon locked up Player of the Year honors and fully exempt status on the Corn Ferry Tour.
I'd like to thank Mackenzie Investment. Obviously, the tour wouldn't be possible without you guys. Canada Life was the first and the last tournament. Very grateful for that. All the other 9 players in the top 10, I mean, I think all you guys are going to do great on the web that the Corn Ferry next year. And probably on the PGA Tour as well. Last but not least, all the Mackenzie Tour staff. You guys are doing a great job and helping us out to get to the next level, so we're very grateful for speaking for everybody. Thank you. We all tee off in Vancouver for the same goal to come to London and then hopefully lift the Player of the Year trophy. I'm very proud and very happy to be here.
It feels great to finish in the top 5 again. You know, it's been such a long, crazy year, but still a really good year, and can't wait for next year.
Being top 5 was a goal for me at the beginning of the year, so to be able to achieve that goal means a lot.
Feels good. Feels been a long time coming to kind of, I guess, make a pretty big jump to finish 4th on the money list. I mean, I'm excited.
To sneak into the number 5 spot is something that it's always fun when you can accomplish some of your goals, and I was happy to do it with a win in the last event.
Mackenzie Tour is the best way to go because it gives you the real full experience on how it is on the Corn Ferry, and also gives you an opportunity to advance.
Mackenzie Tour, it's been great for us because we have so many great players, and competition is so tough that it really prepares you well for the upcoming stages.
I went up there in 2017 and then lost my card after playing about 20 tournaments. So in my opinion, I learned a lot over there.
Golf's a long road, and sometimes guys see it as a very short-term thing, but realistically, hopefully your career can range over 20, 30 years. So you just got to stay patient.
Golf's always a battle, and just happy to be able to have the opportunity to tee it up. It's just a fantastic year.